I am thou, and...
The final fight in Persona 5 Royal isn't just a great boss fight. It's emotional, symbolic, and packed with meaning from start to finish. From the glass stairway to the half-bitten apples, all the way to the final punch, every part of this confrontation is designed to say something. And even if you remember how it made you feel, you might not have noticed what makes this moment truly extraordinary. In this video, I'll break it all down and explain to you why the final confrontation with Maruki isn't just a great ending. It's a masterpiece.
A reality where... no one suffers.
Before we dive into the fight itself, we need to set the stage, because understanding who Maruki is and what he represents is key to why this final confrontation is so powerful. So stick with me and I guarantee you'll be glad we cover all this before the fight. Most villains in Persona 5 are rooted in authority, corrupt adults who abuse power to manipulate others. They force people into submission to maintain control and pursue personal ambition. But Maruki is different. He isn't trying to cover up crimes or climb social ladders, which begs the question, if he's not like the others, then what is his role exactly? And you're going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but Maruki plays the roles of a fairy godmothers. And I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. Sumire persona is Cendrillon, which is French name for Cinderella. In the original story, Cinderella is unable to attend the ball because her step-family ruins her dress. Then the fairy godmothers appears, giving her a new dress, and more iconically, the glass slipper, so she can go to the dance. That's exactly what Maruki does. He gives Sumire a new identity, helping her escape the pain of losing her sister. He changed her reality, just like the fairy godmother changed Cinderella's night.
Alright, I'm not sure how to put it, but I feel like I've been reborn all over again.
Really? I'm very glad to hear it.
Now, here's another fun detail before we move on. Some of you might be wondering why the team chose the name Cendrillon instead of Cinderella. And no, it's not because they were scared of Disney copyright or anything like that. It's actually because the first version of Cinderella that included the fairy godmothers, the pumpkin carriage, and of course, the iconic glass slipper was written in 1697 by the French author Charles Perrault, and its title was Cendrillon. Inside Maruki Palace, unlike all the previous ones that the Phantom Thief have visited, people aren't being imprisoned or punished. Instead, they're being cared for. Here, Maruki used his power to take away the pain of those affected by trauma. Technically, the palace functions as a therapy and research center. But if you look closely at its exterior, you'll notice the whole structure is supported by, what do you know? More glass. This, of course, is another beautiful piece of symbolism planted by the developer. But this time, Maruki didn't just use his power to help one person, he used it to hold up the weight of his entire operation. And now he's preparing to do the same for the entirety of the new world he's about to create it. As you're climbing that final glass staircase toward Maruki, something interesting stands out. Right in the middle of the chambers, there's this massive golden trees covered in apples. This immediately reminds me of the tree of knowledge from the Garden of Eden. You know, the one with the forbidden fruit. In the Bible, God gave Adam and Eve freedom to eat from any tree except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, making the fruit a taste of trust and obedience. But the serpent, which often linked to Satan, tempted Eve by sowing doubt and deception, causing her to question God's authority. Eve took a bite and then gave it to Adam. And that simple act changed everything. Adam and Eve's choice to eat the fruit granted them knowledge and awareness, but it's also brought the burdens of suffering and led to their exile from paradise. In the context of Persona 5, this act can be seen as humanity's first exercise of free will or the first rebellions against an authority figures. That said, the room full of apples, the one that you're in right now, is pretty much the core of Maruki research. He's not just displaying these apples for effects though, he's studying them. More specifically, he's studying the trauma and pain humans carry after taking that bite of the fruit. Even better, the bite marks grow faintly with a purple distortion. It's a beautiful detail that subtly shows Maruki's powers in action. These final rooms act as a prototype gardens for the world he wants to create. A world where humanities never had to endure pain. A world where they never took a bite of the apple. And all of this leads back to one person, his girlfriend, Rumi. She was the first person he used his power on, the one who inspired his entire philosophy. In fact, deep within this very palace, he builds multiple statues of hers, placing her likeness throughout the core of his ideal world. She isn't just patient zero to him, she's the heart of everything he's trying to achieve. Let me give you another example of how the game used apples as metaphor, this time through dialogue. Remember that scenes where Maruki is consulting Sumire? He's mentioned that his friend kept giving him apples, and after a while he's got tired of eating them raw, so he tried to cook them instead.
I'll go first. The other day, a friend of mine gave me a ton of apples. I've grown tired of just eating them by themselves. Yesterday, I thought, why not try using them as a meal ingredient? So, I tried making an apple dish for lunch.
And yeah, it didn't turn out so great. But that small moment actually says a lot about Maruki's role as a counselor. Again and again, he's taking in other people's pain, one story after another. And each time, he tried to find a way to make it easier, more manageable for his patients. But no matter what he does, the pains never truly goes away. Honestly though, that alone is already an elegant metaphor. But then we get Sumire respond, who's, to be fair, isn't in the best headspace at the time, but we'll excuse her for that.
Sounds like it didn't work for you. Apples do make for good ingredients, though. If you grate them, you can make a surprisingly versatile sauce. I use it in plenty of my food. It's pretty nutritious and good for digestion.
Now, to most people playing the game, this part probably just feels like a quirky details about food, but it's actually one of the most meaningful lines in the entire games. What she's really saying is that pain, like an apple, can be broken down. It can be processed. And when it is, it becomes something you can actually take in. The word versatile here is especially important. She's not just talking about food, she's saying that pain, when handled properly, can become something adaptable, some things that make you stronger.
Just as you have your own beliefs, I too have no intention of changing my plans for reality. No matter what happens to me in the end, I will fix this torturous world. That is my own rebellion.
Unlike many bosses in the modern Persona series, most of which are drawn from real-world mythology, Maruki persona, Azathoth, comes from fictional horror mythos created by H.P. Lovecraft. Azathoth, though, is often called blind idiot gods. Not because it's foolish, but because it exists so far beyond human understanding that it remains completely indifferent, like someone unaware of the bacteria living inside them. In Lovecraft's stories, it suggested that the reality itself might just be Azathoth dreams, and if the entity were to ever wake up, everything would vanish. That idea, of course, is terrifying, I know, but it's also what makes Azathoth the perfect persona for Maruki. Maruki isn't just chasing a goal, he's chasing an ideal, a dream he wants to bring into realities. But it's not something any ordinary person could achieve. So he makes that dream possible through Azathoth, a being that literally dreams realities into existence.
Azathoth. Did I fail?
Adam Cadman isn't a character or a person. In Kabbalistic teaching, it's the very first light, the divine blueprints for all creation. It's the moment that comes before everything else. So when Maruki persona take this form, it's not just a new phase of the fight. It's the moment the creation begins. Golden light floods the battlefield, the air shifts, and just like that, the new world Maruki has been dreaming of isn't approaching anymore. It's already taking shape. And just like in Lovecraft myth, when Azathoth wakes, the world disappears. But the twist is, it's not Maruki dreams that disappear. It's our realities.
I still... I am thou, and...
The final phase of Adam Cadman's unfolds under the sky painted in a deep purple hues. It's clearly a nighttime, but when that darkness mixed with the fire and destruction caused by Adam Cadman, the atmosphere evokes the moment just before dawn, the twilight. To me, the lighting choice here doesn't feel random, it feels intentional. It's almost as if the developers are telling you that the outcomes of these battles will decide everything. Will humanities wake up to the new world Maruki has created, or to the very same one they fell asleep in? All around the arena, shattered glass float in the air, a subtle but powerful visual callback to the structure Maruki built. And on top of that, Adam Cadman changes color, from the serene teal to a glowing red-orange hue. This is no longer the peaceful creator of Maruki's ideal world, but a tyrant willing to eliminate every soul standing in its way. And you can see that reflect in the way it's fight. Before, its attacks were meant to make the Phantom Thief submit. Now, it's trying to erase them. Its full strength is unleashed. And as it does, Maruki Palace begins to collapse. This is where the glass metaphor comes full circle. Glass is beautiful, it elevates, it shines, it reflects hope, but it's also fragile. This is what happens when you build a world on something purely ideal, without resistance, without challenge, without the grit that gives something real strength. As soon as conflict arrives, as it always does, that structure can't hold. During the fight with Azathoth, only the instrumental version of Throw Away Your Mask is played. But now, the melody that once felt distant now returns with a voice, making Maruki's vision feel more tangible than ever. The lyrics are essentially Maruki speaking directly to Jokers and the Phantom Thief. The words are gentle, but persuasive. One line from this song particularly stands out. You can throw your mask away, no more pretending. Throwing away your mask at this moment is deeply symbolic, especially because the Persona series was inspired by the work of Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist. Jung described the persona as a kind of mask we wear to face challenge and hardship, a social identity we build to adapt and survive. So when Maruki says you can throw your mask away, he's not just offering relief, he's asking you to let go of the very things that help you face the world. And that's exactly why it's not just the Phantom Thief who would reject him. It's everyone who's ever stood face to face with their shadows. Everyone who put on a mask, not to hide, but to endure. From Cease, to the investigation team, to every outcast, misfit, and dreamers the series has ever embraced. None of them would accept a world that asks you to run from hardship instead of facing it. That's why these moments resonate so deeply. It doesn't just echo the story of this game, it echoes the soul of Persona itself.
His head is his weak spot. Though our attacks are ineffective in his normal state. But whenever he attacks, he drops his guard while concentrating all of his power. So if we can target his head as he strikes, we might have a shot!
We've come this far. We ain't gonna give up.
Yeah! You gotta do way better than this!
Don't underestimate our tenacity.
Just like Throw Away Your Mask, I believe isn't just a song, it's an answer, a clear rejection of Maruki's world. The Phantom Thief don't ask for an easier life. They don't run away from pain. They choose to live with hardship, because through it, they grow stronger.
How does it look? Perfect! His head's defense level has dropped down to 0%! Go for it! Finish this, Joker!
Checkmate.
Joker pulls the triggers, Adam Catman's collapse, and with it, the last thread holding Maruki reality in place. In Persona 5, guns often symbolize rebellions. So this final shot isn't just an attack that defeats the enemy. It's a declaration. We don't need your world.
Sorry to cut your flight short like that. This place is done for, along with the entire reality I dreamed of. I have lost. Even if I were to try that fight over, I'm sure I'd only lose again. So I know, this is going to sound pretty stupid. I've been holding this all in for so long, just hiding it from myself. So, please, help me kill every last one of my regrets. You're the only one I can ask to help me with this. The disappearance of my palace, of the entire metaverse, is drawing near. Seems like neither of us can summon our personas anymore. Let's begin. I gave up everything! Everything! So why? Why, Rumi? A reality where no one suffers. I'm done. I get it now. All thanks to you.
As the glass platform begins to collapse into nothingness, Tekken Marugi whippets. Joker reach out and catch him. The glass structures, once symbols of Marugi's dreams, are gone. But what Joker holds on to isn't the dreams. It's Marugi himself. Exhausted physically and emotionally, Marugi tells Joker to let go. He believes there's no place for him in the world Joker chooses to protect. But Joker refuses. He tells Marugi that despite everything, even now, he still has a place in this world. As long as he's willing to keep fighting. Throughout the games, Marugi uses his power and glass to hold up his ideals. But in the end, what saved him isn't a structure born from his dream. It's the hand of another person.
So bright.
And with that, morning comes. The world remained the same. Unfair and ruthless. But it isn't without hope. Because what this fight leaves us with isn't perfection. It's a reminder, even in a broken world, we're not alone. We struggle, we fall, we get back up together.